this is supposed to be like a hip hop themed podcast, because obviously we are, and by we, I definitely mean at least me, people of the culture, and we can't forget that. But obviously this is not necessarily one-to-one music related yet. So, oh man, hip hop is so unfortunate sometimes. So you might have missed it, but it was a pretty notable Gunplay situation, Gunplay / DJ Envy / Rick Ross situation that happened not too long ago. Now that it's kind of passed, not everything's been kind of all the parts of it came out. Now I'm in a good place. I think we can talk about it. So I pulled up a video. I found something that kind of gives the synopsis of all the like integral parts of it. So I guess we'll kind of go through the piece of the video, and then I'll kind of like break it down a bit more, and then I can get to the question, the root of the matter here. So on this video, you can go past the intro A's to that first part. Yeah, do that first. I guess, yeah, because I need to like remind myself what the order in which the video goes into. So, okay, so it starts off with the GoFundMe drama. Sure, play that.
So the drama all started shortly after Gunplay and DJ Envy traded shots back in May, which escalated after the former demanded an apology for bringing his newborn daughter's GoFundMe page into Envy's feud with Rick Ross. The GoFundMe in question had been started by Gunplay's partner to help cover their daughter's medical bills following her emergency heart surgery in February. The couple raised over $30,000, but Gunplay is now claiming that some of the donations were recently refunded after a video emerged of him gifting Rose a new chain.
Just for everything, man. Just for being a boss. And just, okay, let me get this all set up. Alright. So, come on now. Alright. So, I got animal shelter as my vibe, you know what I'm saying?
Believe that.
So, we're gonna go ahead on and rock the
animal shelter. You already know what it is.
Guy or something?
This how we live. This how we move. We always been dogs.
Dog check.
Dogs, you heard me? But nigga, I appreciate this. And boy, that much heavy. Animal shelter. I'ma rep it for life. I'ma keep it for life. I never said it in front. I love you, my nigga.
I love you.
During DJ Envy's vicious spat with Rick Ross last month.
Okay, so just to kind of break it down, and honestly, they probably should have showed this part before the previous part, because this happened before the previous part. But just to kind of give a too long didn't read. So, salute to Gunplay, and he's affiliated with Rick Ross's label / movement MMG. So that's why they've just known each other for a long time, and they consider themselves brothers. So that's why he's gifting him that gift. But that comes after the fact of, again, salute to Gunplay, but, unfortunately, his child, had health complications, and, they needed surgery. So, like the video said, their wife or their partner started a GoFundMe for that circumstance, and they raised some money, and, that went towards, obviously helping out the young child. They went through a very traumatic, thing, and, and their partner felt that that's the move they wanted to do. So that's honestly, I guess that's why they put it at the beginning, because that's really the crux of the matter here. You have a person whose child went through something dramatic, and the family decided to do a GoFundMe, and then not too long after that, the person gifted one of their friends a very luxurious item, just so everyone's fully aware. So again, this happened before the gift was given, but this will play into what Gunplay's response was to DJ Envy. So go ahead and play that.
Month, he condemned Rose for not publicly supporting Gunplay's GoFundMe or helping take care of his child's medical bills.
We reported a story 3 weeks ago about your guy. Your guy, Gunplay is my brother. He has the Mac in the back of the 7 Series, and that's my brother. We reported a story that Gunplay, shout out to Gunplay, friend of the room, reported a story that he had to, put a GoFundMe up because he was having some problems. If that's your brother, you take care of your brother.
Gunplay didn't like having his name mentioned and in turn demanded an apology via an.
So, if you weren't aware, because all this is like old beef, or pretty silly, also by the way. But DJ Envy and Rick Ross had a super minor beef. They were beefing about like who had a better car show, but it like most things in hip hop, it escalates way too much to where people are calling out other people and saying other things. So DJ Envy's point was essentially Rick Ross, who's obviously just incredibly wealthy and successful, has a person that they think of as a brother, a friend whose family is going through some type of hardship, and it's like as you as who you are, why does your friend even have to go through a situation where they're putting up GoFundMes? Why aren't you just fully supporting that and essentially addressing the bill, footing the bill? So after that, we reached a situation where because eventually people have to have conversations. So Gunplay and DJ Envy had a conversation, and it was recorded, so we know exactly what was said. Play it.
An intentionally leaked phone call, at one point threatening Envy with violence.
What's up, man?
How's everything with you?
I'm blessed beyond belief, man. Everything is good, man. Why you talking crazy, man?
Talk crazy about who?
About me, my brother. What I had to do with anything, man? And my wife posting a GoFundMe, man. My baby was sick, man. She had a heart defect, my brother. Why has nothing to do with cars? I slapped the shit out you, boy.
I wasn't talking about your baby.
No, you was. Envy, I slapped the Envy, for real. Envy, for real. I slapped the shit out of you, right? For that, that, right?
We ain't doing all that.
No. I want to be clear. Here. I would slap the shit out of you about that, right?
And then we can fight, but that's not the reason I'm saying that. See,
it ain't gonna be a fight. It ain't gonna be a fight.
Let me finish.
Nah, it ain't gonna be a fight. Envy, it ain't gonna be a fight, dog.
If I wanted to disrespect, I wasn't trying.
But you did. Why'd you bring me into that?
I wasn't talking about.
Why did you bring me into that, Envy? And so I'll be wrong. If I'll be wrong to handle my business then, right?
But what's your business? I'm having a conversation with you. If you feel like I disrespected you, I'm talking to you like a man. I'm like, nah, I would never. And if you feel I did, I apologize. That wasn't my intention.
Well, I need a public apology because my wife is affected by that. My brother, we sat in that hospital for 28 days, homie. That shit was some real shit. That shit had nothing. It ain't even about the money. You know what I'm saying? My wife is in panic mode. My wife put that up, and this is what it is, and that's how she felt. She was in panic mode. I told her to chill, but it's cool. We did a GoFundMe. That ain't nothing, my brother. So don't bring my child into this, my nigga, because then we gonna be having bad blood, dog.
And if you felt that way, I apologize. That wasn't what I was trying to do, and I fuck with you. So
that's what I'm saying. Right?
I apologize.
Thank you, my brother.
Cleared up, I will, because I have no problem.
Elsewhere in his interview with the We and My Andy podcast, Gunplay said.
So that was pretty self-explanatory. That was a conversation that they had after the fact. You could maybe say one way or another whether it was how well it was handled, whether the threat should have came out that quickly. But that was what happened, and Gunplay expressed why he feels a bit not in a great space because of what DJ Envy said and the context of when he said it. But yeah, that was conversation. And then essentially the final piece of the puzzle was an interview that that Gunplay did with his partner after the fact. And after the fact, people saw him give the gift to Rick Ross. Go ahead and play it.
His dispute with Envy is far from over and openly challenged the DJ to a boxing match.
He didn't realize, I slapped the shit out of him. Yo, Envy, what's up? Put on the glove. Let's get it. Shots fired!
So you challenging DJ Envy right now to a boxing match in the ring?
Yeah.
Box it out. Let's do the ring. Let's get in the ring, man.
You could do and raise some money for charity or whatever.
You know, they do a little fight and donate to the hospital our daughter had surgery at.
Break it down for us. What happened?
He took a jab at my daughter's situation. It had my wife pretty hurt about it.
I'm seeing a therapist about all this. Like, literally, I got the phone call from my father. My father listens to the Breakfast Morning Club show, and he was like, is there a problem? Like, do I need to go up there about my granddaughter? I'm like, what's going on? So then I get on my daughter's Instagram page, and obviously, you know how trolls are, and they're coming crazy about, oh, you need to sign away your parental rights to envy, and I was very, very upset. It took me to a very, like, traumatic space. No one's expecting to give birth to a daughter with a heart defect that rare and having open heart surgery.
Right.
So I told him, like, call him up and tell him to take that shit down and to apologize. That night, he said, the next morning, I'm going to go on the show and I'm going to apologize.
Exactly.
And he's like, okay, I'm going to do it the next day. Charlamagne sent us the videos, like, I'm going to tell him to do it again. So at this point, you're ducking the situation.
So you are going to take legal action against DJ Envy?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
You need to learn your lesson. You can't just gut onto this type of platform with your voice and your followers and say anything that you want. People come at you and not realize, like, what you're going through at that time.
Every single one of you assholes and
Richard
that went to GoFundMe and donated and went and get a motherfucking refund, you never gave it with your heart. You a piece of shit.
Oh God.
You'll die that way.
Richard!
Not for real.
I didn't even know you could do refunds on GoFundMe. That's crazy.
In 90 days, people that see me give my brother a gift, they automatically want to say that I bought that with GoFundMe money. Had to pay that back. So now, if you really want to be for real, my if a spunked out on the chain, how the they got it right back instantly.
Right.
With no pressure.
Right.
If that's what you want your back, here, take it.
Right.
So all you and ass out there, you never gave it from your heart, and you gonna die a piece of shit.
Wow.
It was literally everything. Like, after we went out to eat,
everything a do.
We built the tank.
GoFundMe.
That's crazy.
$30,000 from $50,000 on GoFundMe. Don't even pay somebody's rent entire year.
From the 30, guess how much we really get?
How much?
15.
Dang, they take half of it?
After MD said what he said, we had trolls go to GoFundMe and try to report the GoFundMe page.
Right.
And I had to actually print out every, like, itemized bill to show that the money went to my daughter.
The leaked phone call could potentially result in Gunplay facing up to 5 years in prison, as it's against the law to record a person.
So that is the full story. Get you fully caught up. Salute to Hip Hop DX. This is a pretty good summarization of, you know, even though it's kind of fortunate that, you know, we even spend this much time on beefs and things of that nature. But all that to say, yeah, I mean, like I kind of specified before, the final outcome was, you know, people saw, you know, once everything was kind of seen, you know, you have a person with a GoFundMe, and then y'all see them spending. We don't, to be honest, we don't even know if he spent a lot of money on a gift that he gave to Rick Ross. We just know we seen him give it to him, and now people are like, well, if you're giving Rick Ross chains, or Rick Ross is laying on his bed chilling with his feet up, why are we giving you money for GoFundMe? And that's where the kind of the question stems of, like, what do y'all think of this particular situation? And I'll keep it a buck. When I first saw that video of him giving Rick Ross the chain, I didn't necessarily see any issue with it. Maybe I'm tweaking, so that's why I'm curious to know what y'all thoughts are. Because I don't necessarily see a problem with, like, supporting people that you want to support and showing love to people, and even if it's in an excessive way, at the same time where you are going through something where you require support from other people. I think those things can be independent. But again, I'm willing to accept the fact that I'm tweaking. That was the kind of the notion that a lot of other people thought. So again, that's why I'm curious to know what you guys' thoughts on, you know, what hip hop beef is looking like in 2023. But yeah, so what are your thoughts on the situation in general? Like, what do you think of, like, what are your feelings about, like, you know, if someone's going through something and technically requesting help from others, but still doing excessive acts for others? We'll start with you, Ghost. What do you think?
I mean, first of all, these are grown men, grown adults doing this stupid shit like they're fucking teenagers, bro. Like, that's the first thing. this whole, I don't know. I don't know Gunplay, except for that one feature he did.
On a Kendrick Kirker?
I don't really listen to him like that, but to me, he comes up looking like a clown after this whole situation. Like, the going off about how people taking out the money and all that. If you post a GoFundMe about a child's heart defect saying you need the money, that implies that you are in a financial situation that's borderline desperate. Whenever you mention anything about a child, people are gonna drop whatever they're doing and say, "Oh shit, this child is."
Do you think that's what GoFundMe essentially illustrates?
That like, you need financial help. That's the whole point of the platform.
Okay, all right.
I'm not trying to give money to people that already got it. Bro got more money than me. What I need money for?
I'm just asking questions. I do see your point.
I get why people went and got their refunds. I get why they're heated. Like, cause I mean, again, I don't know Gunplay. I don't know if he like fell off the sudden or if he's struggling. And he said his wife posted it, but regardless. She knows what your finances are like, so if she posted that implies that y'all needed the help. And if you sitting there wearing chains and expensive ass chains, gifting expensive ass chains, and doing all that, like you don't need the GoFundMe money that bad. Like you rocking it. If you really needed it, you would have. If you were that desperate, you would have sold his extra stuff that he don't need, including those chains, to get that money. And the fact that he's whining about it and going on Breakfast Club, and the fact that he's recording the conversation, supposedly private conversation he's having, posted on social media for what? For clout? Like, I don't know.
What you argue, even though there's legal implications, sometimes people record things just so they have indefinitive proof, so other people can't spin their narratives.
Which is true. That's fine reasoning, but he posted it on social media to get a rise out of people and to say, "Oh, look at this situation." If you just keep it to yourself, you can keep the recording. You don't got to share it with people. Just drumming up a whole bunch of drama. Talking, "Oh, let's fight." And again, he's acting way overreacting to whatever DJ Envy's saying. Because again, even if it was out of pocket and he thinks that it's about his daughter. Like the message is clearly about Rick Ross, so he's going off about that, and I don't know. It's just.
But I mean, you can't acknowledge if somebody's taking a shot at somebody else and they bring up something that's going on with your life. You're probably not going to be happy about it.
True, but again, he didn't mention he mentioned the GoFundMe. It wasn't about the daughter situation specifically, but I mean, yeah, that's fair. He might not be thinking completely rationally about, oh, he wasn't talking specifically about this, and that. I mean, the fact that it was brought up in first place, fine, whatever. You talked to him, you got your apology, all that. But I don't know. It's just he shouldn't be complaining. If you can gift chains like that, he was wearing a chain in the interview that looked exactly like the one he gave to Ross, so. To me, that illustrates that you're not that desperate. And that's not even to say that you can't go on GoFundMe to request money if you don't sell all your possessions, if you don't sell your house or sell your cars and all that. But again, it implies desperation, and it's misrepresented where you're at from a financial standpoint. And if you do, and people take back their money, don't go whining and crying about it, because what do you expect? You got more money than all the people that are giving money to you, so it's just crazy.
That part is true, or it probably is, like, statistically probably true. I don't know. There are a few things that I kind of, could comment on, but maybe they'll come out, because I don't know if you guys will have similar sentiments, but what do you think, Ace? What do you think of this situation, and do you think it really is I guess it'll look bad, but you think it really is a bad look when people are requesting help on one hand, and on the other hand they're doing excessive acts for other people?
Yeah, I do think it looks bad. I can't say Gunplay shouldn't have made the GoFundMe. Because I don't know. I mean, maybe they did need immediate help at the time. Maybe he came into a windfall after. I don't know, but
Yeah,
at the same,
give him some
Hey,
bail.
I know. It's unlikely though. It seems unlikely.
And I don't know if it really means anything because these probably were decisions that I don't think you could argue were made solely independent. But he, like you said, his wife made GoFundMe, and I could imagine a world in which the wife, you're seeing your child in that type of, you're not, you might even not even be thinking about your own financial situation at that point. You might be just thinking, my child is going through this, I'm gonna reach out for help. Like, I don't care. That is a possibility.
My financial situation is the very first thing I'm thinking about if I know I need a certain amount of money for a surgery, and I'm going from there. Like, I'm not going to forget how much money I have in the bank.
Yeah.
If I know what needs to be paid.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of this is goofy. Like, I don't understand still why him giving the chain to Rick Ross was even on footage. Like,
that's a point.
It looked like Rick Ross was asleep.
I know. Like, did Ross agree to this? Apparently, but jeez.
I think we can all agree with that sentiment. The only thing I can say is that rappers, entertainers, when it comes to them, everything is on camera. That's evident by the fact that they recorded that thing. So that's just part of their lifestyle. Hey, I'm going to do this thing. Hey, turn on the camera. That's obviously no excuse, but that's probably the mentality.
Yeah. But yeah, and then I do think I agree with Ghost. Like, Gunplay definitely overreacted to DJ MV. But at the same time, you made a good point, Quest, that the fact that his daughter's situation was brought up, like, I can understand that clouding somebody's judgment in a way. Mm-hmm. But I don't know, at the same time, you would think it would become clear at some point that this really, it wasn't about your daughter's situation per se. It was about I mean, it was basically a shot at Ross.
Right.
I don't know. It's funny that I mean, it seems like Rick Ross is quiet about the whole thing, which is
very much so. Like, I'm not omitting anything from this. This is not another clip of Rick Ross like actually donating a large sum of money to Gunplay, or like coming out and saying, hey, we need to squash the beef and all be men.
Right.
It kind of unfortunately ended with this. And I think the assumption is, like, well, one, they gave back some of the money for the GoFundMe. And two, hopefully, behind the scenes people did have conversations. But, I mean, DJ Envy went to live his life, and Gunplay is probably just still dealing with the aftermath of that situation. Rick Ross is still living his life. So that is unfortunately where, or at least we know where it ends. But, behind the scenes stuff could happen. But yeah. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Real quick, I was gonna, like, I'm trying to think, because obviously I'm not a huge Gunplay fan by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm trying to think, like, if this happened to, like, a similar situation happened to a rapper or somebody, like a celebrity or somebody.
Would you support their GoFundMe?
Yeah, I mean,
okay, that's
not necessarily would I do it, but more so, if I did, would I be upset if I saw them do something like this, where they're doing something expensive after the fact?
That's what I wanted to ask, and maybe it's more applicable to Ghost, but maybe it's applicable to what you're about to say. Do you not see any level of what am I trying to say? Well, yeah, to what he was saying when he said, like, as a person, if you genuinely want to help somebody, like, it really doesn't matter. Like, other factors shouldn't matter, because at the end of the day, like the wife said, like, they have to show, like, receipts and things. So I think there's evidence to show that the money did go to that specific operation, or that with the medical bills.
Yeah.
So is there any point to what he was saying about, like, when you give something to somebody, you should be giving it purely out of your heart, out of wanting to support that person, and you shouldn't really be considered. You really shouldn't be concerned with other factors.
Yeah, actually, I do because I'm thinking about it, and if I was in the same situation as these people who donated, and then I saw the person that I donated to like doing well or whatever, going out to some fancy restaurant or whatever, I would still be happy that I was able to support, help support them, especially if it's something with a daughter or something like that, where a health situation. I would still be happy that I was able to support them, and now they're good. Like,
See,
I
this is
don't.
why I wanted to hear from you because I'm rolling.
Yeah.
Strong disagree.
Damn.
I mean, in a vacuum, I don't think there's anything wrong with what you're saying. But again, the whole point of GoFundMe is in the title. GoFundMe. You are in need of funds. you need this. It's not something. Oh, it would help, bro. You see those chains? Those chains are expensive as shit. You doing all right, bro? And again, maybe I don't know Gunplay's whole situation, so maybe can cut him some bail, and I don't know. He was hurting for money, but he somehow came down with a few $100K to do whatever he wants afterwards. Who knows? But I don't know. I just know if it was me, I'd be pissed because I feel like he's misrepresenting the situation, and if you really need the money, then that's fine. But I'm all for donating when somebody needs it. If you have the means and you just want people to give you their money for the sake of it, just because you don't have to spend it, I have a problem with that. It's like the same logic behind donating. Like, you want to round up when you're paying at a retail store to help pay for this, that charity. In a vacuum, sure, there's nothing wrong with that, but the company that you're paying the money to could be paying that money.
So you don't do the little roundup thing?
Hell no. Again, if they really want to donate that money, they can donate.
Fun fact.
What you mean?
They do that roundup thing, so they get the tax write-off.
Yup.
You can always just donate to the charity of your choice on the side.
Damn,
on your own.
I always do like the little roundup thing, but while I kind of like the idea of helping people, I kind of like more so round numbers in general. That's just anything to me. But that's not nothing to do anything. Sorry. What are you saying, though? Sorry.
That's a better reason than conventional logic. That's great.
Fine. I guess, Wes, what are your thoughts on this whole situation and that the idea of giving while you're in need of while you're in need? I suppose it's like the way to sum it up.
So from the get-go, I can imagine a world in which first of all, who knows Gunplay's wife?
They were on reality television, but they're still like a lesser known hip hop couple, I would say.
Sure.
There's no Jay-Z and Beyonce, I would say.
So I see a scenario in which the child is born defect. The mom is stressed out,
panicking.
She posts a GoFundMe not simply because she wants help to fund the thing. It's quite possible that in today's day and age, she posted it for quote like awareness, and as I think Ace said it, like something to do. Like she wanted to do something to try to help the situation, try to get exactly. I mean, I think it was almost posted in a similar way. People do post things to Facebook, and I think from that perspective, she might have had good intentions without any weirdness. Like and even if they do have the money, I also will throw it out there that some couples have weird financial situations, and even though this guy might have all the money in the world and be buying chains, they might have separate bank accounts. Like they might be doing who knows.
This is a scenario in which it'll make more sense. You're saying
Yeah. And so she throws it up. Nobody. I didn't know. Like, I wouldn't have known who it was if I was on GoFundMe and I scrolled by, saw this baby had this, blah blah blah. I might throw a few dollars. I don't know anything about anything. So I think that's probably partially what happened. And so that was fine in my eyes. Now, if the finances were all set and she had mad money, he has mad money, it's all joint, it's all on the up and up, and it was just unnecessary. It's a little weird, but I still don't really call foul. Yeah, I don't really call foul. And then the confrontation of DJ Envy was weird. This dude has terrible communication skills, and
Who, Gunplay?
also, yeah, awful.
Well, if it makes any difference, he's from Florida, but
Well, yeah, there you go. But yeah, no, Envy looked like a stand-up citizen in that call. And the other thing is, like,
one of the few times, but
yeah, exactly. And so the thing is, the only piece of it that he made that I understand is that, you know, his name is getting brought up in conversation in a beef that he has nothing to do with, he wants nothing to do with. And the other thing is, maybe he got, you know, his business was put out there in a light that he didn't find appropriate, which is fair.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the fact that behind the scenes, they're getting, you know, his wife is getting hate on Instagram and wherever else.
Right.
That can incite some, you know, some feelings that clearly he was expressing, but very poorly. He could have, you know, that, I think that was the motivation, because he said his wife hit him up, his his father-in-law, whatever, hit him up, or hit his daughter, whatever, his wife up, or whatever, however it went. So it's like, it's stuff behind the scenes that put him to where he was, but he never just said, "Hey, you put you know, my name and my situation in a bad light. I don't appreciate that. Can you please, you know, apologize publicly for it?" He could have been articulated way better. Then to go on to the point about people who donated, if I had donated, I don't care what happens. My donation stops at the point where I click donate. Like, after the money's gone, the money's gone. Hopefully they use it for a good cause. If I've come to find out they didn't, it's like, dang, that sucks. But I'm not really saying anything else. And even in this case, I don't even know if.
Well, I mean, if we literally found some, like, they really did
investigation,
and they found out that it did go towards buying chains, I'm sure that then you have a full right to, like.
Yeah, but I mean, I'd just be like, dang, that's ridiculous. I don't trust this dude anymore. I don't trust these people, whatever. But the only thing that would get me up in arms, make me want my money back, is if I found out that the money was used for something like literally evil or illegal, or like that's the only thing that would get me worked up. But I will grant that I'm sure the majority of the people who donated money that they probably, I won't say didn't have, but like, not everybody can just throw away X amount of dollars, like $50 or I don't know how much they were donating, but the people, the less you have it, the more upset you're gonna be, and I allow that. Like, even if, you know, and it would go for me too. Like, there's an amount that I would donate that I would be pissed about if I saw. If I did see Gunplay walking around with chains, like, there's an amount. I feel like there's an amount for everybody, because when you feel that it's going toward a good cause, you know, you have a little bit more leniency. But I think there's a point where it's like, okay, well, I put myself out for somebody and they really, really didn't need it or didn't use it what they said, you know, or did something underhanded, and it's like, nah, that would make me, you know, upset. But yeah, this was weird. The whole thing. I mean, yeah, I don't know.
No, everything you said made absolute positive sense. I was gonna ask, because it seems like, and maybe it's more to what Ghost was saying, like, a pivotal part of this was the GoFundMe aspect. And I was just gonna ask real quick, do you think if they had just posted this, like, on, like, Twitter or Instagram or Facebook, whatever the platform, and then people out of their own volition donated, do you think that would have made it a bit different, Ghost? Do you think it was specifically the fact that they did a GoFundMe, and GoFundMe has a certain implication?
I definitely think it would have been different because I think West did raise a good point in her potential motivation in posting it. But the thing for me is, even if that's your motivation, you still kept the money. It's not like you took the GoFundMe down after you talked to your husband and you're like, oh, actually, you know what, we're straight. We're not going to need that. You still kept it up. You still kept and used the money. So it's not like you wanted it purely for the social media and the
exposure of it.
Yeah, the exposure aspect. But if it was like on Twitter or Insta, and then it was like pray for my daughter, prayer hands, typically goes on Facebook, and if there was a link, like even if they had posted the GoFundMe link, where it's like if you want to send something, or implying that it's not like an urgent thing. I don't know. It was kind of splitting hairs, but I think it'd be different than just the straight up GoFundMe, because the implication, again, it implies that you really need this money. Like when I see GoFundMe's, I think you're really struggling. You really need this. You're desperate. You kind of exhausted your options, so this is what you're resorting to.
Yeah, I mean, counterpoint. I do think that there's an aspect of action to it. I think people want to feel like they've helped the situation more so than not. Like, I think once you engage and put your money, forward, you feel a little bit more connected and like you actually did something for the situation. And so I think that piece of it might be part of it. Like, where I know I hear what you're saying.
He was being selfless.
Wait, what?
You think she was being selfless and thinking of other people?
No. That's not what I mean.
I'm kind of joking. I know what you mean.
Yeah, but I'm saying I'm talking about like the point of the platform, not necessarily that you literally don't have it. You'll die if you don't get the money, but it's also like we are going to get through this situation together type deal, or you can help.
Like it's a community thing?
Yeah, in a way.
I mean, you're putting your money where your mouth is. Like, in a vacuum, it's good. Like, there's nothing wrong with it in a vacuum, but again, it's like, this is not on the same level. Like, imagine Drake posted a GoFundMe for something. He's getting laughed off the part. Because people know that he got it like that. He don't need the money.
Drake posted a GoFundMe.
Yeah, but
people that love Drake are putting money up toward it.
True. But, let's say...
Speaking ridiculous.
But let's say, I don't know. Let's say I'm rich and I want to build, I don't know, some type of public building that can be used.
Maybe you want to build like a medical facility in like the hood or something like that.
Yeah, or even like a community center, somewhere that good for a community.
Yeah.
I might have all the money to put up for that thing. But in putting toward putting out a GoFundMe or some type of fund, then other people feel that they've invested or that they've helped create something good too. And not to say that it's 1-to-1 on your daughter's whatever, but I'm just saying, like, there's a piece of it where it's like, yeah, of course you have the money to buy that thing, but there's also some aspect of other people helping in the situation, and that don't necessarily, and it's not something that's done single-handedly.
And I would argue humans like feeling like they contributed, like they came together as a community to help solve a problem, which is why I think it unfortunately does boil down to the fact that he was shown in this admittedly like damn near comedic manner, like giving like excessive gift to somebody else who's equally. What'd you say?
This will look like a skit.
Yeah, basically.
It was literally like his kid excited to give him something for Father's Day. Like,
Yeah,
I've never seen a grown man.
And the father ain't really too excited about it either. But yeah, that's what I think. And maybe it was the fact that he was kind of like going off on DJ Envy too. But I think that's what it was more so. Because I could imagine, because like you brought up a really good point, Wes. I think there have been situations. I could imagine a situation where somebody that's already wealthy, post a link and people do it sometimes when it comes to charities. Like, you'll have like For some reason, my mind goes to streamers. You'll have like relatively wealthy streamers who will do like a streamathon where they want everybody to contribute. Obviously, they could in theory just foot the entire bill, but there's something about like community coming together. I guess it just has to not include you the next day doing something live for somebody who's also really got it.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with crowdfunding, but it feels misrepresentative when it's kind of framed in a certain way. Like, if you're upfront about it, then, I don't know, it's for me at least, it's different than, I don't want to say shady, because I don't want to put that on them, but it feels more desperate than it does in an alternate type of scenario.
Mm-hmm. And I don't know. I mean, I think he still opened himself up to it, though. Like, he opened himself up to it, and in being on film, presenting the gift. Yeah. But the reactions, I can appreciate the fact that the reactions are probably pretty harsh on social media for the wife and everything, and that that is not cool. But also at the same time, I think there needs to be a lesser degree of people watching other people's pockets.
Pocket watching.
Yeah. I think that needs to be in general.
Well,
you just don't really know people's financial situations, even if they're stupid about the way they flaunt certain things. And you got to make a decision based on what you've seen and what you know, but I feel people getting too up in arms about other people's finances.
Well, I tend to agree with you. I don't think people are ever going to stop pocket watching, especially wealthy people, and especially when wealthy people do things like this.
Yeah. No, I agree. It's a human thing, but I don't really.
And I mean, as critical and harsh as it sounded at some points, I think a lot of people felt the same sentiment that you are reiterated to go. So I think that's why it was valuable to hear. Yeah, I think in general, even I definitely have a better understanding of like the whole, just a full grasp of the situation. Because again, I was kind of going to a kind of not naive, obviously not, but like again, I was like of the mindset. Okay, well, I mean, he did this nice thing for his friend, but he also was requesting money. So I thought you could look at it as independent, but there are a lot of things with the situation that you obviously people are gonna be up in arms about it. Yeah, I'm not gonna cap. Obviously, we're not a hip hop podcast. If you want hip hop commentary, you obviously go to like a DJ Academics or something like that. But I don't know. I think you guys broke it down pretty well. I would listen to this. I'd eat that.
For you and A, agree that though, like you have a number that if you did donate, you'd be a little bit pissed about.
Probably. Yeah.
Would it been? I still kind of am on this belief that if I give money away, kind of like you were saying, if I give money away, I think once I give it away, I don't think I would feel any way about it unless it was found out. Like, what if it was like, I don't even like putting this in the universe. What if it was a complete scam? There was no baby. Like, then it's like, what the hell? But obviously, yeah,
I think when it makes you a little uncomfortable, the amount you donate.
Realistically speaking, there definitely is an amount. There definitely is an amount. I don't know what it is off the top of my head. I think that would depend on the situation at hand, but there's an amount. I'd be lying if I said there was no amount at all. But yeah, definitely, salute to their daughter. I hope they were able to, get the medical attention that they needed for them, and I hope that they do have some level of recovery, and hope the best for their family. And I hope that it's a learning lesson for people. We have a lot of these situations in hip hop where there's just kind of these one-off beefs, and people get really contentious, but we never really get it finalized until years later in some instances. But that's just hip hop. But yeah, like I said, I enjoyed for the most part this breakdown. I listened to that, and we have a little bit more hip hop to break down. So get your hip hop hats on, your hip hop backpacks on, because we are doing the yearly XXL Freshman Breakdown, the Be Warned and Be Filled edition or version right here, right now. Obviously, in the past, we've done it a bit different.